Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include these stories, as well as community events, Off the Rack, the BBS Playbill, and more coming up after this.
Sharing a healthier future with Participaction. She's walking for all the right reasons: health, fitness, and relaxation. And by the way, she's also building bone mass to help prevent osteoporosis. Regular activity, another way we're all sharing a healthier future. Participaction.
It was a lot like the first day of moose hunting season on Saturday morning, as about 25 men chased after one moose. No, they weren't trying to harm the animal, but rather help it find its way out of town. The local wildlife officer, with the assistance of the RCMP and the Burgeo volunteer firefighters, caught up with the moose near Shag Pond. They then chased it over Maintee Hill, up through Messers Road, and across Seal Hoe. The moose then returned to the wild unharmed. The Department of Wildlife would like to thank Corporal Matheson and Constable McDougall of the RCMP and the members of the Volunteer Fire Department who came out to assist in safely escorting the moose out of town. As of January 1st, Burgeo fell under a new school board district. I spoke with Ann Parsons, school board representative, about the new board. Speaking with me now is Ann Parsons, Burgeo's representative on the school board. Welcome to our studio, Ann.
Thanks, Dave.
I understand that as of the new year, Burgeo has come under a new school board. What areas are included in this new board?
Yeah, you're correct. We've been the new boards were appointed, like the interim boards were appointed back in August of last year. And since that time, I've been kind of working with the two boards because we've gone from the Western Integrated over to what is currently called the Appalachian, or Stephenville Port aux Basques School Board, right? And we came into effect now on January 1st. That's when we were ready to take over and the other old boards were dissolved. So we became the board for this district at that time, and that takes in areas from Port aux Basques right on down as far as Grey River, all the areas in between, right? Port aux Basques, Cowdrey, Stephenville Crossing, Port Durania, Grey River.
Okay. Did this new board result in any layoffs of administrative staff affecting the Burgeo area?
No. As a matter of fact, in our last little news, because after every meeting now we're putting out a district news, and that's for anybody and everybody. And in this last little one, I'd like to just read this little part. On January 1st, 1997, school district number 4, that's what we are, we're district number 4, there's 10 districts now instead of 27, announced the following appointments: that Mr. Blaine Marks has become the administrative assistant. Mr. Marks has approximately 20 years experience in education, and in which time he worked as a business manager of the former Burgeo School Board and as administrative assistant in Burgeo for the Western Integrated School Board. Mr. Marks' position makes him responsible for the coordination of the board maintenance, purchasing of materials, school busing, and school finances in the Burgeo-Rania Grey River area. So that was, we were pleased to see that nobody lost their jobs as a result of this, you know. So Blaine will play an important part in that board, too.
Okay, you mentioned the school board referred to as District Number 4, and the old name that was on the Port of Bass Stephenville board. So is there a new name in place for the new board?
Yeah, yeah, there is actually, in a sense, they're hoping to be a new name. There will be eventually. We've always, it was the Appalachian Roman Catholic School Board, and we got the Port of Bass District School Board. We had the Western Integrated School Board, so we had all those names into one. So what we've decided at our last meeting was that we said we need a name. So we're having the school district number 4 is looking for a suitable name and a crest or a logo. To achieve this, the school district is sponsoring a board-wide contest, and students are invited to submit a name and a crest with a written explanation of the name and their design to Dwayne Snow at the school board office by March the 14th, and a cash prize will be awarded to the winning entry. So we'd like the students to have a little bit of input into naming what our school board is going to be.
Okay, so if any students are interested in submitting things, I guess they can contact you
Yes,
to get the
or
address?
the principal.
Or
the
the
principal.
school office, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, under the old board, the Western Integrated Board, students from Burgeo frequently traveled to Corner Brook to compete in various competitions, math, science, and things like that. Will these field trips continue now under the new board?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think we will be included in everything. I mean, that's quite clear, right? But there are a few little things going on. There's a district science fair, and that's tentatively scheduled for March the 15th, and one will be held in Port Bass and the other one in the St. George region. And then you got the Western Newfoundland Regional Science Fair for all you young scientists out there. It's going to be hosted in Corner Brook this year, and it's scheduled for April the 18th and 19th. And so we wish all of our students good luck in preparing their science projects and get them in. And the Canada-wide Science Fair will be held in Regina, Saskatchewan in May. And for further information too, they can contact the principals on this, and the principals got all this information as well, right?
Okay, this year St. John Central High played host to the regional as well as provincial softball tournament, and it's also going to be hosting the drama festival. Is there a possibility, like say under this new board, that some of these math competitions and things may be held in Burgeo as well?
Well, I'm sure there is, Dave, although we've never, our committees are just getting in place now as such, because we've only had just one meeting as the true board, right? So we're only just getting in place, but I'm sure it will.
Okay, because it's always nice to bring people back and show them what we've got to offer as well.
Yes, yeah, I think we got pretty good communications with the board executives, you know.
Okay, you mentioned that you've had one meeting so far. How often will the board be meeting, and where will they be meeting?
Okay, our regular meetings are held the first Wednesday of every month, and they're scheduled from, we have one, we alternate between Port of Bass and Stephenville, because that's where the board offices were, right, and we don't have a board office, and everybody would have to travel there, but hopefully that will be something that we'll be doing in the spring or the summer. You know, they're all kind of anxious to get down and see what we got down there, plus I'm anxious to bring them down too and show them what we do have, and get them to look at our new school. At our school, maybe we'll get a new one or something, right? Who knows? But anyways, yeah, so our next meeting then is held on March the 5th, because we've had a few rescheduling ones from Port of Bass. It's a pretty long distance, and to try and get everybody out to a board meeting in Port of Bass from Stephenville and Port Port, and that's one of the problems that we have been incurring, you know, and but we've been doing pretty good just the same. But it is important, we got to have those meetings, so sometimes we do venture out into the threatening storms and make it there, right? You know. But I haven't missed either one yet, and I figures I'm the farthest one away, so figures if I could get there, anybody can, probably.
Okay, how many representatives from this area are on the board?
Okay, well, I was appointed back in August as the representative for the integrated denomination to sit on that board. And at that time, I was, and I still am, the only one from the Burgeo-Ranier Grey River that came over from the old Western Integrated School Board. And so now, at our last meeting, we adopted a constitution. Constitution kind of sorting out the zones and how many people. We're always going to have 18 members. There's always going to be 6 representing the Roman Catholic denomination, 6 representing the integrated denomination, and 6 at-large members. So those will be, and they kind of based it on at our last meeting, our superintendent or director of education, I should say, presented us with some, a draft constitution or to be voted on and sent in. And we did do that, but I did have some concerns, and only because we agreed to amend it, like it can be amended at any time after. So, but one of the concerns that I had at that time, it's okay the way that it's done too. I agree with 100%. They use the percentages and base the number of people, representatives on that, right? Given only that we do only have 18. But they got at us classed in zone number 2. And zone number 2 includes Grey River, Ramia, France, sorry, I always say France, but anyways, Burgeo and Ramia, Grey River, Burgeo, and then they had us gone in with Stephenville Crossing, St. Teresa, and Black Duck Siding. So that took in an all new area for us, and we're still only allowed 3 as such. My concern is, I think, because of the geography, although geography hasn't come into it as such, but because we are kind of down here and coming into the new school district from the Western Integrated, that I feel, and I'm sure a lot of other people will feel too, I think that we should be guaranteed some representation from this area. Not necessarily Burgeo. It can probably, well, there's 524 integrated students in our area, just say Burgeo, Ramia, and Grey River, and the other ones got mostly Roman Catholics, like 913 Roman Catholics. So it is possible that all of our representatives could come from that area. A Roman Catholic more than likely will come from that area, right? Because it depends on how people get it and vote. And it can certainly be an at-large person because they would represent either religion. And there certainly is enough integrated people in that area to kind of take away from this area. And again, depending on how you get out and vote. But if we had some, and we're looking at that, and the board, we discussed that, and they were all in agreement with me at that time. So, but because the meeting was running late and you had to cover so many things and what have you, we did defer it, and we will amend it at a later date. That we're looking at ways of, this is just one little suggestion that I had. Maybe we could have the integrated representative from this area, the RC representative from the Stephenville Crossing area where there are more Roman Catholics, and maybe the at-large person can come from all of the district. So he's looking at ways and that it can be done legally and not ruffling any feathers or whatever, right? But I feel it's important that we have some representation done in this area.
Okay, Ann, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I think it's probably it, Dave. Just like to let the people know that we are moving along and lots of things are happening out there, and we got a pretty good board. Yeah, I think it's a pretty good board. Everybody has their say, and nothing gets rubber stamped, so to speak, and it all gets trashed out, and I'm pretty good, and I feel pretty good about it.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you for coming in and updating us.
Thank you, Dave.
And we look forward to further updates when the need arises.
All right, thank you. And there's always an open invitation to any news media to sit in on meetings as well. We usually have the Western Star sits in and the Gulf News or what have you. So anytime you feel like you want to come take a trip to Stephenville or whatever, feel free to do so.
Okay, well, that
All right.
might be a possibility now.
Yep.
In sometime in the
Yes,
future.
or especially if we have one in this district.
If we have
Right?
one in Burgeo, we'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
our guest today is Ann Parsons, Burgeo's representative on the new school board. To mark the Cabot 500th anniversary, the Canadian Rangers will travel 4,000 kilometers across Newfoundland and Labrador over a 6-month period. The journey got underway on Thursday, January 16th in Labrador City and will wrap up on June 24th at Bonavista. Vista. The Rangers will travel by dog team, snowmobile, boat, or on foot to pass a ceremonial silver axe from patrol to patrol across the province. On each leg of the journey, the local patrol will visit the maximum number of communities along their route. The journey is scheduled to leave Channel, Port-aux-Basques on April 30th and arrive in Burgeo on May 7th. The journey will then continue from Burgeo to arrive in Hermitage on May 15th. The Cabot 500 relay will test the Rangers' essential skills and training. They will use navigation and survival skills under conditions that are fundamental to the military jobs. Stay with us. There's more of This Week in Review coming up in just a moment.
Imagine the longest trail in the world. That's the Trans-Canada Trail. I'm Peter Vahid, and I ask for your support in this grand endeavor, a national trail for all Canadians to enjoy.
Each donation you give makes a meter of trail. In recognition, your name or those of family or friends will be permanently imprinted in trail pavilions.
The Trans-Canada Trail. Call now and put your name on it.
On Monday evening, the Strategic Planning Subcommittee of the Burgeo IAS Committee held a live panel discussion here on Channel 10. The panel focused on the community's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The panel, which was moderated by Bruce Gilbert, resource person for Communication for Survival, brought together Tom Hutchings from the Long Range Regional Economic Development Board, Bob Hutchings, chairperson of the Burgeo IAS Committee, Alistair Hann and Bruce Vatcher from the Strategic Planning Subcommittee of the IAS Committee, Robert Sims representing the town, and Roger Simmons, Member of Parliament for the district. The group discussed the community's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, as well as asked for input from the viewing audience.
Okay, we've got a caller here. Let's just take this. Hello, caller.
Yes, hi.
You're on the air.
Yeah, I want to get a point across before Roger leaves.
Okay.
The point is that our fish plant here is our biggest strength, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to get whatever fish we can possibly get and pack it into that plant. Now, tourism is okay, yes, it's a nice sideline, but without the plant, we're not going to go all that far because it is our one and only industry. And as it goes for processing licenses for, say, mussels or sea urchins or whatever, we got to try and get whatever we can get and pack it into under that roof of that plant so that we can create more jobs for more people here in this community. Because that fish plant, like I said, is our one and only strength.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I'm absolutely with you that the fish plant is the cornerstone. I said that a couple of times during the program. My plea from the beginning is don't dismiss other opportunities. Let's do both.
That's exactly right. I agree with you 100%. And I had to get that point across before you left.
You got it across very well.
The Burgeo IAS Committee also had a meeting this past week. 3 representatives from the committee stopped by our studio on Wednesday morning to give us an update. Speaking with me in the studio today, I have 3 representatives from the IAS Committee, Bob Hutchings, Alistair Hann, and Ann Parsons. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Morning.
Bob, since we last updated on the IAS, a collective agreement has been signed between Seafreeze and the union. I guess some talk of that must have emerged in your meeting on Tuesday night.
Yes, absolutely. Very encouraged, and the committee was very pleased to hear. Edith Anderson from the FFAW gave us an update, and I guess the whole community knows by now, certainly no secret. And it was very reassuring to hear that 98% of the membership ratified it. That's a very strong endorsement. So that's a major hurdle over for the town, and of course there are some other issues. I understand the resources and the quotas and these types of things, and there's negotiations going on behind the scenes. I would think, especially with Mr. Barry and Seafreeze, and indeed DFO and the federal government. So it's a big announcement. It's a big plus for the town, and I'm not quite sure how long the negotiations were ongoing, but it's been quite a while. So that's a very positive step, and we're very pleased as an IAS committee that the union and the company were able to sign up that agreement.
Okay, I understand that another issue that you spoke on was the digital telephone system, which is necessary in order to get access to the internet.
Exactly. Well, we've been working, the IS committee, I should say, been working closely with Barb Barter from the school in relation to the community access program. And by the way, I was informed by Barb yesterday that indeed that's been approved, okay? So that's federal money that'll go in and help put a server in place to offer the internet. But what we're concerned with after that, of course, is there are various providers of the internet, the cable companies, there's the satellite system. But we're very much interested in making sure that NewTel, through their Newcom department, offered the internet. Some of your viewers may be familiar with Simpatico as their particular software. But when I checked with NewTel initially, a few weeks back, or say a month ago anyways, I was told that Burgeo didn't have the proper digital service. So brought that back to the committee, and the local person there, in the person of Aidan Brayon, I believe it's pronounced, informed us through council and back to the IS that indeed, as far as he was concerned, Burgeo did have the technical hardware in place. So I'm happy to say I since followed up. That's at our last meeting 3 weeks ago, and a gentleman by the name of Stephen Harris with Newcom tells me that the digital service equipment is appropriate. It's a technical point in terms of the degree of digital service, and technically it can be done. Anyway, the good news is that we are now one of the 450 communities included for 1997 that NewTel through Newcom will be trying to offer the internet service. So I guess hopefully the big question has been answered, that we do have the proper capabilities here, and we have that in writing, by the way.
Okay. I understand that there's also been some talk about Sandbanks Park, in particular the $55,000 that was supposed to be allotted to complete the Comfort Station dumping station.
Exactly.
There's been rumors that that money is not there. I understand you've done some work with respect to that.
Yes, well, actually through the town notified the IS committee that somewhere along the way, I'm not quite sure of all the background story there, that the $55,000 was spent elsewhere, whatever, and even though it was earmarked for Sandbanks Park. But we jumped on it right away between the town manager and myself, and we've been dealing with the provincial parks. And again, I'm happy to say we have a letter on file from the director of parks, provincial parks, saying that the $55,000 has been allocated for this upcoming budget, and it's high priority with the department. And they, on paper anyway, have reassured us that all the work will be done by June of this year, so that you know, we won't be behind in terms of promoting the park and the new amenities and so on, and that it can be taken advantage of for this coming summer, and that we don't miss another season.
Okay, I understand you've also teamed up with the town to push to get a power line run to the park.
Yes, as most people in the town are aware, that's a sore point, I think, at least with most people that I've spoken to, and it's a big issue. So the IAS committee, again, working with the town, we're talking to some people in St. John's. We understand it's on the list of items that the park put in their wish list, I guess you could call it. But at this point, it's not approved. We're very hopeful. We've been told by the government officials that hopefully in a month's time, so that you're looking, say by the end of February, we should have something more official on it. But it would be a big plus, and certainly talking to the people in St. John's, it certainly appears that the will is there to try to get that done in conjunction with the Comfort Station, because the present system is not really adequate for the Comfort Station, dumping station. That this power line would be a much better system, and let's hope, keep our fingers crossed that indeed this happens. We're on top of it. We will monitor it, and hopefully at our next update we'll have some positive news.
Okay, I understand you're also working with the town to get the tourism brochure in place as well as community profile.
Exactly. I guess one of our objectives as an IAS committee was to put together some promotional material, and which includes a community profile and a tourism brochure to help promote the town. And our subcommittee is well along with that. And then we got to the point of, well, you know, how many we're going to produce and this type of thing, what the costs were going to be. So we had a meeting with the town council early in the new year, and you know, discussing mutual issues. And one of them was we put a request into them that they look at cost sharing, the cost of producing the brochure and the pamphlet. And it was at our meeting last night, of course, official word came back from council that they approved on a 50-50 cost sharing arrangement up to a certain level. So so that's good news. We're partnering with the town, and so it should be. And it, again, it's promotional material that we can now put out there and try to attract more people into Burgeo, and certainly Sandbags Park, but Burgeo in general.
Okay. I guess I'll turn things over to Alistair now with regards to the strategic plan. Can you give us an update on how things are going with the strategic plan?
Yes, Dave. The strategic plan is moving along, and in fact, I think we're a little ahead of where we had hoped to be at this time. But when a group gets together to prepare a strategic plan, you start off with by asking yourself several questions, and it follows a certain format. And the questions usually run along the lines of where have we come from? How did we get to where we are now? Where are we now? What is the nature of the community's economy today? Then we go on, where are we going as a community over the next 5 years? That's the whole objective of the thing. And where do we want to be? What do we want to be as a community? And how do we get from here to there? Now, there's sort of a set format you go through to accomplish and answer those questions. And the sit-down pattern is usually a SWOT analysis, which we just went through and finished up on Monday night with the forum there. And now we're going into the visioning session. Now, I know a lot of people would say, well, what's a visioning session? Well, that's drawing up a vision to cover off those questions which we asked to start with. So for that reason, we will not be following the vision that Ramya has, word for word and per se, but being that we had quite a few strengths and weaknesses the same, we also had quite a bit of differences. I would just like to read the vision statement as it was done for Ramya. Ramya's vision statement is, our vision for Ramya is that of maintaining a prosperous, healthy, and distinct community with a sound social structure and a reasonable standard of living. Our prosperity shall be based upon full employment and a diversified economy accomplished through a highly skilled workforce and community cooperation, thereby achieving the full use of our human and natural resources. I would say Burgeo's vision will probably be along those lines. It'll be written in a language that no doubt that I won't write it. When it comes to that kind of language, I'm not that good at it. But our vision will probably reflect the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats which have been identified over the past couple of months. We will try to build on our strengths. We will strengthen our weaknesses, promote and take advantage of our opportunities, and try guard against the forces which threaten our town, our existence, and our reason for being here. So that is the way that I see it. So like I say, we've been through the SWOT analysis. We put it to rest yesterday morning. So that part of our plan has been completed. No doubt if there's things to be added there, or maybe before the final draft comes out, we could take away from there. We're now going into the vision session, and I guess probably by the time we have our next meeting, that will be completed. We will develop a plan. Then we will develop a strategy to implement the plan. It's no good to have a plan if you don't have a strategy to implement that plan. We'll hold consultations on our draft plan, and then the final draft will be put together. And in developing the plan, we'll set some goals for Burgeo, some objectives. There'll be target sets, and so on. projects, and we'll gather in the information that Ann from her group and the aquaculture group and the other subcommittees have, and this will all come together under one heading eventually. So we're quite pleased so far with what we have accomplished. And this time I would like to really thank the people who called in to our forum on Monday night, and also those who called me personally yesterday. If people don't want to phone in, that's fine, but when you get a call, you get feedback. That's what you need from your sessions here on television. So if we get the feedback, whether it's good or bad, we still need it. So that's about where the strategic planning subcommittee is right now, and we're going out full force, and we have a target date of about mid-March at least to have our plan just about wrapped up.
So was your subcommittee pleased with the TV panel that you held on Monday night?
Yes, very pleased, and with the call-ins, and like I say, and the feedback we've got since that, and it was a good forum.
Okay. Ann, I understand your committee had been busy as well. I attended a meeting regarding the Chamber of Commerce, and seems like there were a lot of people there, a lot of very interested people there. How are things going now since that meeting?
Okay. As Bob mentioned, our committee, yes, has been working very hard, and we meet at least probably once a week or every 10 days or so. And it's a good committee, and we do have four main goals, and one, of course, is the Chamber of Commerce and an entrepreneurship, not just about the Chamber of Commerce, now that you mention it. Our feelings that a chamber is needed was confirmed on, well, we had a Chamber of Commerce meeting on January 21st, and we had 28 people present, 20 who were already in business or had some business interests. And out of that meeting, within that meeting, we had a speaker from the Bay St. George Chamber of Commerce come down and just let us know what the roles of a chamber is, and asked a few questions and so on and so forth, and was a lot of questions. And anyways, it was confirmed at that meeting that there is a need for a Chamber of Commerce. And from that meeting, another subcommittee, or I guess everything is subcommittees, but another little committee was struck to form the chamber. Now, to really put it in place, and not they being the executive or anything, but what they're going to do now is they're going to be holding another meeting on February the 11th. That's their date. It may change, but right now it's February the 11th, to elect an executive for the Chamber of Commerce. So they're opening all of those people that's interested to at least come along, but somebody must take over those executive positions. Other than that, then there just won't be a chamber, and you can say goodbye to that. So be prepared, but show up, even if you just want to be a member on February the 11th. But those people, they'll be doing their job on that. So hopefully that'll go ahead, and we feel that it certainly would be a common voice for all if we did have a Chamber of Commerce there. Right now we got the IIS committee, but after that's over, then we got nothing that you can come to. So we need a common voice, I think, in the community, and it's not only just for business either. It's for, but it does adhere to business more so. And the entrepreneurship workshop, that was another one of our goals, to foster entrepreneurship in our community. So on February the 4th, we're having an all-day, we're calling it a forum, a workshop or what have you. We got guest speakers coming in. We've got almost up to, I think, 50 people that's interested in attending that. Some got some business ideas, some just wants to come and listen. It'll be an information session as well. You can come and go as you please. It starts at 10 and ends at 3:30, so you don't have to come and stay all day. But if you're going to be there for lunch, we are providing lunch for any of those who show up. And the only thing we're asking is that they give myself a call or Tracy McDonald, and just say, yeah, I'm going to be there, and so then lunch will be provided, and there is no fee for it. And so we got some really good key speakers to talk on business, and somebody to talk on their little success stories on small business. It seems to be the way that, I know we need our big industry too, but you still need some little small businesses to help out individuals along the way. And our tourism, as Bob mentioned, we're coming along with that. We had a guest speaker in last night at our IIS meeting, and they've agreed to come back and sit down and talk with our, they're from the Department of Tourism actually, Carol Sims and Mike Joy, and they've agreed to meet with us, our subcommittee, and talk about all the issues regarding tourism, and it's long overdue. And then we'll have them come back into the community so that everybody can get a kick at the cat, so to speak, right? So everybody can. There's lots of pressing issues, and plus we're going to be doing up a brochure, as Bob mentioned, and the town council have agreed to come on 50-50 with us, and well, that makes for a good brochure. You know, we're hoping to have a nice one done, and the Department of Tourism too have offered their expertise in helping us to put that together or critiquing it when we're ready to print it or whatever. So we'll at least have something decent out there, right? So that was it on the tourism. What else did we have? Oh, our community profile. Yeah, our community profile. All the data has been collected and it's being sorted out, and we're pretty well ready to sit down and put that in form as well. And they'll just take a day or a couple of days or whatever, just getting at that and doing it, right? And the council, of course, is helping us financially with that. So hopefully we'll have something good to offer anybody that wants something on Burgeo. There won't be any questions about have anybody got anything on the history of Burgeo, you know, from now on. Hopefully we'll have it all, right, when we're finished. That's our goal.
So that'll be available then to anyone that...
Absolutely. Yeah, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a promotional tool to be
Yes.
used by the town, and
Yes.
indeed, if I could just add a point there, if somebody's going away and they feel they could put some brochures in the right places or give them to friends or families from away, by all means, that's what it's there for. It's at the disposal of the public to use for promotional purposes.
And when we get them done, you'll certainly know about it, right?
Yes.
So is there any time in mind as to when?
We're hoping to have we're going to kind of move on to our tourism one now because we feel that that's really, really essential, and we're hoping to have that ready for May, actually. It could be before, and it could be, depends on what you run into. But we're going to start working on that right away, and we're still going to be working on our other things as well. But, you know, a lot of effort is going to be put into this tourism brochure, because we need that first probably before we need the other one printed. But like all the information is available and stuff for Alistair to put in his strategic plan and what have you, right? It's all there, but it's just not all in written package form yet, as such.
Okay, because I know the Sand and Sea Cabot 500 committee now are starting to get a lot of calls requesting information about
yes.
the area. And
Yes.
things, right?
Real good example.
Yeah.
All of this is long overdue, no doubt, and we're grateful that the IIS came on and helped us with this process, because it is overdue, no doubt. So hopefully we'll correct that.
Okay. Bob, I understand you're going to update us on the youth committee, and I understand that this committee has some career workshops planned for the near future.
Sure. I'd just like to say, first of all, that Jonathan Benight is the chairperson of that subcommittee, but of course he's in school this morning, so I'd certainly give a quick update. Yeah, one of the things they've identified is indeed for the high school students are some career workshops, and there's a lady in the name of Trish, Lake from Pasadena. She's a educational consultant, I guess, is her title, and she's been invited in next week, actually, Tuesday and Wednesday, which is February the 3rd and the 4th, to the local high school, and we'll be doing exactly that, I guess, career workshops. The kids are in high school now, looking ahead, you know, what do I do, given the way things are today, and I'm sure they will get a lot out of some advice in terms of planning their careers. And there's a lot of questions. Hopefully this lady can help address that. So the IAS committee, have funded that person to come in, and it was a recommendation back up from the subcommittee, so we look at that as a positive thing. So we look forward to see what transpires there. The youth committee have other issues on the go as well, and some of them are unfolding, and it'll be a little while before we have more details to give updates on. But one thing that they are looking at very closely is, as I mentioned in a previous update, is a JA conference. JA is Junior Achievement, and from what I understand with Jonathan's report last night, that the school is up to the yin-yang right now in exams, this type of thing, and so what they've decided to do, they've pushed it off for a little while. I'm not quite sure when. I'd like to think, March, maybe April. And I think that's a good program that the school can look at bringing in, and it can be to the advantage of the kids there, So that's what they're looking at right now, basically. A couple of positive things.
Okay, and our representative from the aquaculture subcommittee is not here because he's attending a meeting regarding aquaculture.
Exactly.
So perhaps you can update us on to what areas that they're looking at with respect to aquaculture.
Sure. Well, Owen Marsden is the spokesperson for that subcommittee, and they had a meeting prior to this one. They had hoped to be finished by 10 o'clock for our session here, but he's still not here, so they must be in the middle of that. I'd just like to make a general comment, I guess, is that subcommittee have zoomed in on 3 areas related to aquaculture, and they are cod, clams, and mussels. And they are trying to work with some local people that are proponents to go forward with some types of businesses related to those 3 areas. In fact, I believe the meeting this morning is to do, I think they put an ad on BBS, anyone that might be interested in mussels. And there's an experimental mussel license that is available, and they're meeting with, I think, the 6 or 7 responded, and it's a matter of sitting down with them today and seeing if we can provide some support and direction how to go forward from here, So again, just a general comment, where Owen's not here himself, but that's what they're working on actively behind the scenes, I guess.
Okay, well, we've touched on quite a number of issues here this morning. If there's someone out in the community, like say, that's been listening to our updates like that we've been doing and feel that there's something that they think the IAS should perhaps be touching on or should look at, who could they contact to inform you of it or whatever?
Sure. Well, anyone that's on the any of the committee members, and what those committee members, or call myself, and by the way, my home number is 634-2582. That's 634-2582. But by all means, Alistair or Ann, and if it's an issue related to a particular, Tracy McDonald, if there's an issue related to a particular subcommittee, well then I hope that IAS member would direct them there, because that's where it should start off with in a particular subcommittee. As you know, under our structure, we meet every 3 weeks, but the subcommittees are meeting on an ongoing basis to deal with issues, whether it be aquaculture or youth, or Alistair's subcommittee, the strategic planning, and Ann's involved with entrepreneurship and tourism, and a whole bunch of things roll into one there. So, no problem, we can direct whoever might be interested. And like I say, if there's someone in aquaculture interested in what I just mentioned, then by all means, come forward, and we'll try to work with you and help give some direction in going forward.
I'd like to add too, though, Dave, if there's anybody in the community who feel that they got something to contribute to any of our committees, feel free, to come on in. I'm sure there's lots of people out there that can certainly help us. I've been talking to one person who got a marketing course, right? So, I mean, those people, we're going to need their help, and if they just let us know that they're there and just, they don't have to be actively involved all the time, but just give us a shout, and we'll include any of their ideas and certainly take it.
How we're handling that, by the way, we have a full complement now on our subcommittee structure and our IAS committee, but if, as Ann said, if there's anyone out there interested and has some expertise they can offer to a particular subcommittee, what we've been doing is pulling these people in as resource people on a particular subcommittee. And like I said, they can come in and do their thing and help us out with a particular area, and then they can move on again if they like, So, yes, and then, of course, every time we talk here on BBS, we're soliciting input. This is a grassroots process. It's the bottom up, and like I say, we'll try to incorporate any ideas that are out there into some of the good work that we're doing here, And there's we have a full agenda, as you can see. There's a lot of things happening, and we're making progress. I know I was very pleased last night with some of the announcements in terms of the approvals, and economic development is a slow process, and it takes time. But as an IAS committee, we're hopefully pulling things together, and it's a team effort. And at the end of the day, whatever accomplishments we make, it's for the good of the town, and that's what it's all about, I guess.
Okay, are there any final comments that any of you would like to make?
Yes, Dave, I'd like to put on the zone hat right now, not the IAS hat. A couple of weeks ago, I went to Stephenville and had a consultation with the Honorable John Efford regarding the Fishing Industry Renewal Board report on the fish plant processing and so on. And at that time, we got into a conversation, and he asked me, and I told him I would. What he asked me is to try to encourage the people throughout the zone to get on the phone to the open line or write letter to Fred Mifflin regarding trying to get an increase in the seal quota. And as Mr. Efford says, you know, there's 8 million seals out there. If you give them just eating 1 pound of cod, of ground fish a day, just 1 pound, and we can't give them any more than that because the scientists are saying that that is not the preferred diet of seals. They should know by this time because they've been checking the stomachs of seals for about 20 years. Anyway, what he's saying is that if they eat 1 pound a day, in 3 days, they consume 24 million pounds of fish. In Burjo in its heyday was using 23 million pounds of fish per year. So you got those seals consuming more in 3 days than Burjo needs in a year. He's out there, he says, beating his gums about a higher quota, and he thinks that it would be a great thing if everybody within the zone, so I'll just speak to Burjo Ramya, get the letters into Mifflin and to whoever in Ottawa to get an increase in that seal quota. They got to be narrowed down. There's lots of markets there. And it was just a couple of days ago I heard this fellow Harold Small, and he said that if they can get the Chinese people to just have 1 burger a year, then that's more demand for the seal meat than we can supply. So I've met my commitment to Mr. Efford by getting the message out. Okay?
Okay. Ann, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Not right at this time, Dave, not on this issue.
Okay. Bob?
Just to say that, for the viewing public again, that we meet as an IAS committee every 3 weeks. And, we plan on the following morning, like we're doing here this morning. I think we've had, this is maybe our 3rd session. We plan on continuing doing this. And we're very, very pleased, and we certainly thank you and the BBS to give us an opportunity to come in. And it's an opportunity to speak directly with the public, the residents of Burgeo, about some of the things that we're doing. And the idea is the open communication and to pass along the things we're doing. And if somebody's got something to say, we continuously solicit any kind of input, and it's an open process. So by all means, I say it once again, step forward and talk to any of the committee members. And we have a full agenda for the next 6 months. There's a lot of good actions planned, and we're very hopeful that we're going to see a lot of positive things, again, to the betterment of the community.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank the 3 of you for coming in and speaking with us this morning.
Good day.
Okay, thanks for having us.
The Much Music Television Network has chosen Newfoundland as the production site for their 1997 Snow Job television special. 4 Much Music camera crews will travel throughout the province during the months of February and March to capture a flavor of our musical and cultural industries, as well as our many spectacular natural and scenic attractions. Snow Job 97 will result in 64 broadcast hours, which will be televised over a 7-day period on Much Music. It will include a Much Music concert featuring major international recording stars who will be announced in early February. The highlight of Snow Job 97 will be a free concert at Marble Mountain on March 22nd. Great Big Sea has been selected as one of the acts for this outdoor concert. This is the first time an Eastern Canada location has been selected as the production site for Much Music's Snow Job. Stay with us for Off the Rack community events and the BBS Playbill coming up in just a moment.
Imagine the longest trail in the world. That's the Trans-Canada Trail. Hello, I'm Pat Burns, to ask you for your support in a grand endeavor. a national trail for all Canadians to enjoy.
Each donation you give makes a meter of trail. In recognition, your name or those of family or friends will be permanently imprinted in trail pavilions.
The Trans-Canada Trail. Call now and put your name on it.
Off the Rack. This week as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a music video that we aired a few years back featuring one of Burgeo's best-known musicians, Craig Young.
Traveling down this lonely road. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's cold. To do it all, to be with you. I feel the rain beating on my face. I taste the dusty wind's embrace. Gonna do it all to be with you. My heart and soul belongs to you. My love is strong and ever true. And I don't know if I'll ever change. But I'm here right now and it's still the same. My love's unchanged. Sometimes I wonder if you feel this way. It's hard for me to see that you would stay there for me, like I'm here for you. Traveling back to where you are. It's been a long time I've come so far. I did it all to be with you. My heart and soul belongs to you. My love is strong and ever true. And I don't know if I'll ever change. I'm here right now and it's still the same. My love's unchanged. Should I scream your name? For my love's unchanged. Traveling down this lonely road. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's cold. I do it all to be with you. I feel the rain beating on my face. I taste the dusty wind's embrace. I do it all to be with you. My heart and soul belongs to you. My love is strong and ever true. And I don't know if I'll ever change. But I'm here right now and it's still the same. My love's unchanged. Yeah, my love's unchanged. Oh, my love's unchanged. Yeah, my love's unchanged. Oh, my love's unchanged.
Welcome to the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. I am AJ Marks. If your group or organization has an upcoming event plan that you would like included in our lineup, please contact the BBS office during regular business hours. Events must be submitted no later than Wednesday of each week. The 1997 Winter Carnival Pageant will be held this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. Tickets for the pageant are going fast. To reserve your tickets, please call Grace Marston at 886-2117. That's 886-2117 by Thursday, February the 6th. Reserve tickets are $3. Any remaining tickets will be sold at the door for $3.50. This year there are 19 contestants competing for the title of Winter Carnival Ambassador. This is our largest group ever, so please come out and support the youth of Burgeo. The Burgeo Lions Club will be celebrating 25 years of service in the community. The week of May the 4th through 10th has been set aside as a week of celebrations for people of all ages. Throughout the week, the Lions will be reflecting on their past 25 years in Burgeo. On next week's program, Dave will be interviewing Gord Ingram, chairman of the Lions' 25th Anniversary Committee, and Stan Kosser, co-chairman, about the events planned for the anniversary celebrations. New Telecommunications pioneers are currently selling cookbooks. The books are being sold for $8, with $1 from the sale of each book going to the Burgeo Recreation Commission Arena Fund. These books can be purchased at the BBS office. The Burgeo RCMP is planning to hold a shoplifting seminar for the businesses of Burgeo on March 17th if enough interest is shown. If you are interested in attending, please contact the RCMP office to let them know how many employees will be attending. There will be a $10 registration fee per business to help offset the cost of guest speakers. This seminar will only be held if enough interest is shown. Home Alone? The Burgeo detachment of the RCMP is initiating a Home Alone program. The aim of this program is to reduce the incidence of teenage drinking and drug abuse. Parents planning to be away from their home overnight or longer and leaving their children unsupervised can sign a letter of consent to enter the premises. This gives the RCMP the authority to enter your residence during a specific time period for the purpose of providing protection of the home and personal belongings, as well as to investigate any activity involving the unlawful distribution or consumption of alcohol or illegal drugs. If you are interested in this program or have questions about it, please contact the RCMP at 886-2241. Progress reports for A.J. Matthews students will be going home tomorrow. Appointments with teachers are available upon request. Midterm reports for St. John Central High will be going home on Friday, February the 7th. Open house will be held on the following Monday and Tuesday. This concludes the community events segment of tonight's program. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Join us on Monday at 7 p.m. for Religious Revelations. This month's service comes to us from Faith United Church. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday at 7 p.m. by playing Lioness TV Bingo. Bingo will be followed by the Hymn Sing Christian Unity service from St. John the Evangelist Church. Join us on Thursday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Telethon Entertainment. For stories, crafts, and a whole lot more, join Marie, Melissa, and Pansy Saturday morning, 11 a.m. for Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. We had hoped to have the results of the smoking survey for you on tonight's program, but the results have not been fully tabulated yet. The results will be available on next week's program. Next week's program will be followed by Up the Shack, a little bit of everything with George Keeping and Agnes Stewart. Please stay tuned now for Telethon Entertainment. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.